Hello, Mr. Mackey here. We're going to be going over reviewing the distributive property. Um, my dad was a distributor when I was growing up for about 30 years, which means he sold things to, well, let me just kind of explain it a little bit, just so you know what distribute means. So my dad, he sold school supplies. So what would happen is like Crayola, like crayons, they would sell it to my dad, and he would then distribute it boop, 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 to all different stores. Okay, specifically Bimart. If you don't like Bimart, shame on you, because my grandfather founded Bimart. He's one of the original founders of Bimart. So if you've ever shopped there, great place. That's what I did growing up as well. Regardless, my dad was a distributor, which means he gave it out to all the different stores, the crayons, or the notebooks, or the glue sticks. Now, in math, very similar to what my dad did, in math, we're going to be solving equations, but with distributing. Let's see, 4 plus 4 would be, all right, so here we have a 4 outside the parentheses. What that means is that this 4 needs to get multiplied by everything in the parentheses. Whether there's 2 things in the parentheses, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter. You're going to take this 4 and distribute it to the 2x, and we're also going to distribute it to the 1. Now, kids generally mess this part up. They will distribute it to the 2x, so 4 times 2x, 8x, and they'll just put minus 1. But you have to take this 4 and multiply it by the minus 1 as well to get minus 4. Once you get to this, it's another 2-step equation. And again, the goal is to isolate the variable, get rid of the things using inverse operations. So to get rid of minus 4, Audrey, yes, plus 4. Good, Audrey. Nice to see you paying attention. 12 plus 4 is 16, because what you do to one side, you do to the other. Let's see, Elliot, what should we do next? That's right, divide. Thanks, Elliot. Good job paying attention. If we divide this side by 8 to get rid of that 8, that isolated the x. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Okay, so when you can distribute, you should distribute. There is another way you could do this problem. I'm just going to show it right now, but generally speaking, you're going to want to distribute. You could technically divide this whole thing by 4 and then solve it. I like to distribute, especially when these numbers aren't nice and friendly. It's very difficult to divide here. If this was like a 7.2, I don't like dividing by 7.2. You get yucky stuff over here. I would rather distribute the 7.2. All right, let's try another one with distributing. This time, I'm going to do one that kids will make mistakes on. Let's go with. All right. Here, we have a negative to distribute. Same idea though. We're going to take the negative 3, just like it's the crayons or the glue sticks, and we're going to give it to this store, and we're going to give it to this store. Okay? Be very careful though. Negative 3 times negative 2, negative 3 times negative 2x would be positive 6x. Okay? Again, this is the next part is usually where kids will mess up. This is negative 3 times, there's 2 ways to look at this. You could times it by positive 4, but then keep the minus sign. Or what I like to do is treat this as a -4, and so it would be -3 times -4, which is +12. I'm going to show this again right over here. This part, +6x. If you treated this as a +4, then this would be -12, but the minus sign would come down, and it would be 6x minus -12, which then you would add the opposite, and it would get +12 anyways. So in order to just kind of skip that step, I treat this like it was a -4. Even though it says -4, I treat it like a -4. Then we're going to go through and continue solving the problem. -12 on both sides, which is 18, and then divide by 6, which is 3. You can always check your answer by taking it and putting it right there and resolving it yourself. Let's try one more. Distributing. All right. What's different about this one? What is different? That's right, Victoria. It's backwards. It's kind of written over here. So we're going to be distributing on this side. We're not distributing the -10 to stuff. We're distributing the 2 because it's the thing right outside the parentheses. 2 times x. Now, if you don't see a number here, that's a 1. So 2 times 1x would be 2x. 2 times, again, I treat this as a minus or a negative. 2 times -3 is -6. And now we're going to solve. Here's the x. The x is over here. So we're going to add 6 on both sides. Kids will mess that up. They'll add 10, and then there'll be nothing over there. That would be -4. Then we're going to divide by 2, and x equals -2. You can check that by plugging it back in. So again, if you see distribute, generally speaking, you're going to want to multiply it out and then solve the two-step equation. Hopefully that helps. You'll have a little Google form. This is more important. The algebra is really important for 8th grade and high school. So understanding how to do this is quite so amazingly important. All right, Mackie out.